Today's scripture passage comes from John's Gospel, the 6th chapter, and it's the beginning of Christ's discourse on the Eucharist. And as he is laying the foundation for his discourse, he's speaking to this crowd, and the crowd is asking him for a sign so that they could see and believe. And what they do is they talk about what Moses did for them in the desert, that they had their forebears, their forefathers were fed in the desert. They had received this bread from heaven. And Christ begins to explain to them, God most assuredly blessed the people who were in the desert with food to nourish their bodies. But the food I'm about to give you will nourish your souls. You see, they died, but once you taste and receive my flesh, you will live. And of course, this was profoundly difficult for them to understand. They could not relate to what really happened in Israel and Egypt when Moses had received word from God that they were to sacrifice a lamb and paint the posts of their homes with the blood of that lamb. And then they were supposed to eat that lamb that night, and death would pass over them. They would no longer be in the bondage of Egypt. And so what he was explaining is that now he's about to give them that same lamb, but the lamb was him, and it was his flesh, and that death would be overcome and pass over into eternity so that they would live forever. That death no longer had control. And this is a part of the explanation that this very sacrifice that you and I enjoy today is based on the fact that Christ sacrificed himself so that death would pass over us. So we have this profound and extraordinary blessing. So this is the bread of life. This is the foundation of our church. This is who we are because of the profound gift of the Eucharist that sustains and nourishes our body and soul for all eternity. This is the gift of life. So what do we do with it? What happens once we receive this profound gift, this sacrificial, sanctified gift that overcomes death and allows us to live for eternity? What do we do? Well, before death on this earth happens, there's work we must do. There's work that must be done. And that work is to spread the good news of Jesus Christ. You know, last Sunday, our scriptural passage came from John's Gospel, the same as today, but it is the 21st chapter. In fact, the end of the 21st chapter of John's Gospel. And I think it's really important for us to hear what Christ has to say in John's Gospel at the very end of his life, when he goes back his spiritual life and returns to his Father, because he has gathered those apostles and had loved them and fed them. And he asks Peter over and over and over, does he love him? Does he love him? Does he love him? And Peter says, yes, I do. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. And Christ intones, feed my sheep, tend my flock, feed my lambs. He insists that Peter grabs a hold of this, because Peter is going to be the leader of this church, this faith that is emerging and growing. And then at the very end, Christ doesn't say, now you all make sure you praise me. No, he doesn't say that. He doesn't say, now make certain that you all worship me. No, Christ doesn't say that. Christ says, follow me. Follow me. See, that's what you and I are called to do. Follow him. This Sunday, my niece, Paige Miller, will be receiving her first communion at Holy Family Church in San Jose, California. She will soon be waking up every morning and saying, Lord, what are we going to do today? Congratulations, Paige. You belong to a faith that should never be mocked.